From the outside, Fallout 4 looks like a series that doesn't take itself too seriously, and in ways you'd be right for thinking this. However, it doesn't shy away from lore, and what's kept people coming back over the years is the level of detail. The timeline of events leading up to and after the nuclear destruction of Earth has been steadily built upon with each entry, and with Fallout 4 just around the corner, we're guaranteed to discover even more new and intriguing mysteries, as well as answers within this heavily engaging universe. So allow me to catch you up on everything we know so far, year by year. (1961). Nuclear becomes the most popular choice of energy, and nuclear technology becomes the focus of the world. This explains why you hardly see power cords and most technology is still running. Anything that would take a radioactive isotope was given one. However, because of the focus on advancing nuclear energy, making tech smaller and more efficient never happened, so the world is filled with vacuum tubes and incredibly large computers. 1969. The United States merges into 13 Commonwealths and adopt a new flag. The Boston area, where Fallout 4 takes place, is part of one of these Commonwealths and still refers to itself as that to this day. Jump ahead to 2042. Former Commonwealth citizen and MIT graduate Mr. House founds Robco, the company that develops Pip-Boys, Securitrons, Mr. Handys, and the other robots still wandering the wastes today. 2044. Nuka-Cola is established and becomes the most popular drink in America. At this time, the nuclear craze was at an all-time high, and radioactive isotopes were even put into soda. 2051. The US annexes Mexico, the UN collapses and war breaks out all over the world. 2054. The US government commissions Vault Tech to construct shelters to protect society from the possibility of nuclear fallout, or at least that's what the public is told. The real purpose of the vaults is to conduct experiments on the vault dwellers within them to find the most efficient way for the wealthy to survive the eventual evacuation of Earth and journey to a new planet.
Now and prepare for the future.
2066. China invades Alaska in search of oil and uranium, starting war. 2067. West Tech creates the first version of power armor to be used in combat. The T-45D power armor is used for military purpose, creating mobilized armored soldiers, and in turn gives the US a tremendous advantage in combat. 2073. China researches the possibility of invisibility. The US creates biological weapons to fight the Chinese. West Tech develops FEV, Forced Evolutionary Virus. 2076. The T-51B power armor is complete and becomes standard issue for all US troops after the war. At this point, the US annexes Canada. October 6, 2077. The bombs drop, and the Great War begins and ends in roughly 2 hours. People retreat to the safety of the vaults to wait out the war. Those unlucky enough not to make it to shelter are either killed or become ghouls. The vast majority of the world is destroyed, but due to the use of satellite and laser technology, Las Vegas survives the bombing and becomes known as the Jewel of the West. 2093. Civilizations start to pop up around the wasteland. One of the most important new societies is the Hub. It quickly becomes the central place of trade for caravans and, within time, develops a currency system. Similar to the gold standard, their currency revolves around how much water they have, a kind of water standard, and survivors begin trading with Nuka-Cola bottle caps. 2102. Richard Gray, an exile from Vault 8, and a man named Harold stumble upon the Mariposa military base, the very location where the FEV was developed. Unfortunately, both men fall into a vat of the virus. While Harold is seemingly turned into a ghoul, Gray becomes something much worse: the Master. For years, Gray lures humans into the base to consume them. As he consumes more and more, he becomes stronger. Over time, his twisted mind came to the conclusion of creating a perfect soldier to unify the wasteland. He continues to lure survivors to the base, but throws them into the FEV to create an army of super mutants. 2161. Vault 13 opens its doors. The water chip inside the vault has broken whilst sealed, and its inhabitants are in deep trouble. The overseer of the vault makes the decision to send someone out to find a replacement chip. The first vault dweller tasked with finding this doesn't return. However, after roaming the wasteland, the second succeeds. Upon arrival at Vault 13 with a new water chip, the overseer thanks him but says he can't allow him back in because he doesn't want others thinking it's safe to leave the vault. The dweller returns to the wasteland and, through a series of unknown events, kills the master, leaving a smouldering crater in his wake. 2164. Inhabitants of Vault 15 leave the vault and start the NCR, the New California Republic. Its headquarters are located at Shady Sands. 2231. Edward Swallow is born in the Boneyard. He joins a group called the Followers of the Apocalypse. In his travels with the Followers, he stumbles upon books that speak of ancient Rome and takes upon himself the mantle of Caesar, setting out to use this as a model for his future legion. 2241. In Arroyo, a settlement founded by the Vault Dweller himself, the Chosen One is born. As a direct descendant of the Vault Dweller, the Elder sends him off to find the fabled GECK, or Garden of Eden creation kit, which is said to be inside of Vault 13 to help the settlement. This device is said to be able to strip the wasteland and turn it into prosperous land. It's during this time that the Enclave, the remnants of the US government, are abducting people to conduct experiments on them, including civilizations of the Arroyo and even Vault 13. In the place of the residents, they leave hyper-intelligent death claws that the Chosen One finds on his travels. He finds his way onto the oil rig where the Enclave have set up their base of operations and discovers inhabitants being tested on with the FEV. The Chosen One helps them escape and in the process destroys the oil rig, sending the Enclave to the east. 2277. The Lone Wanderer leaves Vault 101 in search of his father, who is missing in the capital wasteland. This is the first time we see the East Coast. The Lone Wanderer finds out that his father and mother were not originally inhabitants of the Vault and were scientists that were working on a project named Project Purify that was established to make clean drinking water available for everyone. With the help of Three Dog, the voice of Galaxy News Radio, and the Brotherhood, he finds his father in Vault 112. This vault's plan was to put their inhabitants in a stasis pod and simulate in their minds a perfect pre-war neighbourhood. After helping his father escape the vault, they talk about Project Purify and set off to the Jefferson Memorial, turning the entire structure into a water purifier. This is where the Lone Wanderer first meets the Enclave. They storm the memorial and, to stop them from shutting it down, the Lone Wanderer's father vents radiation into the control chamber to save the project, making sure the Enclave doesn't get their hands on it and killing himself in the process. Shortly after, the Lone Wanderer learns that the Enclave wants the water purifier because they wish to introduce a new FEV into the water to kill those with radiation, slowly ridding the world of it and creating a great America again. He meets the President of the United States, John Henry Eden. The Lone Wanderer chooses to complete his parents' dream and purify the water in the capital wasteland, destroying the President of the United States in the process. 2281. As the NCR and Kaiser's Legion grows, New Vegas prospers. Mr. House takes the local gangs and turns them into casino owners. Three factions fight for control over the still functioning Hoover Dam. Meanwhile, one of the first-gen super mutants, Marcus, founds Jacobstown, a haven where super mutants can live in peace, and Nightkin, super mutants that use stealth boys and developed health issues from them, could seek treatment. In terms of Fallout 4, we don't know much, and there's plenty of rumours floating around. The game takes place in Boston, where MIT, now known as the Institute, is the only place in the wasteland where technology is still prospering. The advances here have been drawing scientific minds such as Madison Lee of Project Purify towards it over time, which has helped advance the Commonwealth even further. This is also where an organisation called the Railroad is believed to be formed, named after the Underground Railroad of the 19th century. Their aim is to help synthetic humans escape the Institute. Some of these escapees even find their way into the capital wasteland. The protagonist is the sole survivor, believed to be the only person to make it out of Vault 111. This vault is believed to be the source of testing for stasis pods, which is why the sole survivor was able to survive 200 years after the bombs fell. These could be similar to the ones that showed up in the capital wasteland in Vault 112. Airships and vertibirds will play a big role in the Commonwealth. We've seen footage of vertibirds in action pre and post war, and the Prudens soaring over Commonwealth sky, controlled by the Brotherhood of Steel. The Brotherhood of Steel is also seen wearing a new model of power armor codenamed the T-60. This could be an advancement of the Institute. However, speculation will be over and we'll know for sure when Fallout 4 arrives and we return to the wasteland. Fallout 4 is available worldwide on November 10th for PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.